All right, welcome back to the Willie Lawson Show here on Spreaker.com. This is a take-home edition, and we've decided that the take-home edition will live. It will continue to live. We are not doing these shows for our iHeartRadio audition. We're just going to do these on Spreaker. And I don't know, we may transfer some of these to Blog Talk Radio. I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. We may transfer some of these to Blog Talk Radio during the holidays, so that are quickly approaching. If you're not ready for Christmas, don't worry about it. It's going to happen anyway. You know what? We were on the iHeartRadio audition that we're doing. We have done something interesting. We did a story today that has to do with Philip Robertson of the Duck Dynasty. He's the patriarch of the Duck Dynasty clan, of the folks, the people, the number one rated show on cable. These folks are, and I tried to explain to someone today. These aren't the Catholic. The Pope is the king. The Pope is God here on earth. Episcopalian, Methodist, these are not these people. These are tongue-talking, Bible-thumping, hands-raised Christian believers. And that's who they are. They were able to come up with Philip was able to come up with a duck commander, which is the best duck call in the world, and these people are now fabulously wealthy. That's who we're talking about. Well, he has an interview that he did with GQ, Gentleman's Quarterly, where he talks about his faith, and he talks about sin, basically, what he talks about. He talks about sin, and he talks about homosexuality, and he talks about idolaters, he talks about the greedy, he talks about a whole bunch of things. He talks about the people who steal, he talks about the people who swindle, talks about it all. However, you know, like I know, that the lightning rod, of course, for the LGBT community is that he speaks poorly of gay people. He is not, quote, tolerant. Well, if you read all of what he says, he's completely tolerant. He's not judging anybody. He says it's not up to him to judge. He just, here's the deal. Here's a translation for the stupid. He just believes what's in the Bible. That's all. He just believes what's in the Bible. And you know what? And when Christians say anything else, either they don't believe what's in the Bible. And I'm just going to be playing. I'm going to be playing with you today here on the Take Home Edition. I'll be playing with you. Either you believe what's in the Bible or you don't. I saw a tweet to Ed Morrissey of Hot Air from somebody, saying that saying these kind of things. The people on the right just stoke their fear and ignorance. There's no fear and ignorance. Here's the deal, kids. You either believe what's in the Bible or not. There's no soft landing position for Christianity. Just like there's no soft landing position for Islam. There just isn't. There's no soft landing position for Islam. There's no soft landing position for Judaism. There's no soft landing position for Christianity. There's no soft landing position for Hindi. There's no soft landing position for Buddhism. There's no soft landing position. Either you believe it or you do not. You don't get to, in India, be a part-time Hindi. You don't get to do that. You don't get to say, well, you know what? We kind of go to church some days, and we kind of believe in Hindi, and we kind of believe in Christianity. You know what? And we believe a little bit of Islam. You don't get to do that anywhere in the world. You just don't. You just don't. So stop pretending. We need to stop pretending this is how it is. It's not how it is. And in this country, the new religion is homosexuality. The new faith, the new religion is homosexuality, and thou shalt not say anything against homosexuality. And that's just that's what it is. And if anybody says anything different, then they're just deceiving themselves. Thou shalt not say anything negative against homosexuality. Because if you say something against homosexuality, you are intolerant, you are terrible, you are awful, you are mean, you're just a terrible person. You're lower than whale dung if you say anything against homosexuality. The position of hate the sin and love the sinner is simply not accepted in our culture in this country anymore. It's not accepted. There's only one problem with that. I've only got one problem with that. The problem I have with that is that that's the biblical position. And it doesn't matter what you say to me. It doesn't matter how you treat me. It doesn't matter what you think of me. It doesn't matter what the gay community thinks of me. It doesn't matter what my gay friends think of me. It really doesn't. And I have gay friends that I love dearly. I do. That I respect for their talent. I respect for their ability to do what they do. I cheer them on. But there isn't any reason, there's no reason, not one single solitary reason that I should back up, deny what it says in the Bible. Not one reason. No one can give me a reason other than, well, people will talk about you and people will persecute you, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. Bring it. I don't give a crap. It doesn't make any difference to me. And I think until Christians get that attitude, we will always suffer. Isn't it interesting that you know what, people can get on television, on A&E, in any media and dog the hell out of Christians. Say horrendous, awful, terrible, mean-spirited, dangerous, threaten people's very lives. And that's all covered under the blood of free speech and or creativity. All of it. You know, and I like Ed Morrissey. Ed, but you're wrong. You're wrong. When Martin Bashir said what he said about Sarah Palin, I'm going to have to change this because there's going to be some explicit language here, because this is what he meant. He meant that every time he didn't just mean it, he said it. What he said was that every time she mentioned slavery, somebody should defecate in her mouth. Someone should shit in her mouth. That was a personal attack against an individual. Yeah, they should have been fired. What Philip Robertson said was that these people, including homosexuals, were going to be judged by God. And he said homosexuals, and he said, this leads to bestiality. Yeah, he did say that. Oh my God, he compared homosexuals to people who screw animals. Okay. Do you screw animals? Well, no, then he's not talking about you. Isn't that interesting? One of the things that I've come up with as of late, if you're not talking about me, then you're not talking to me. If you know what, and maybe, and definitely, this is definitely going to have to get the explicit tag here. If you're not screwing animals, then no one's talking to you. You're not. No one's talking to you. And I think the headline of the day was that he himself, and he said, I don't get it, that a woman's vagina is a lot more inviting than a man's anus. I think what he actually should have said was rectum. They've got so much more to offer, in his opinion. Kind of agree, but that's not the point here. And if anything that he said, especially the comment that said that homosexuality, and as it's connected to bestiality, if that doesn't apply, and especially if it doesn't apply to you, then he's not talking to you. But that's not the problem. The problem is because the rest of it was ignored. The rest of it about swindlers and you know what, and those who are idolaters and all that stuff and thieves and stuff. All that stuff was ignored only because the religion of the day is homosexuality, and thou shalt not speak against homosexuality. Not in this country. Not in this country. So much, in fact. And you know what? And here's how I know I'm right. So much, in fact, that President Barack Obama has decided that he is going to stick his finger in the face of Vladimir Putin in Sochi and send and he not go and the wife not go to Sochi. He's going to send, as part of the delegation, Billie Jean King, the lesbian tennis star. Former tennis star, I guess. And why is he sending her? He's not sending her because I mean, just because she was a phenomenal tennis player and opened up the women's game to a degree that had not yet been opened up. Fabulous tennis player, fabulous. But it's because she's a lesbian, so she can stick it in the face of Vladimir Putin. Again, the new religion is homosexuality. That's a scary thing. That's the new religion. And thou shalt not speak against it. Thou shalt not speak against homosexuality. There is no tolerance for that. There's no tolerance for that. Well, I'll tell you what, A&E had a real problem because there are so many people and this is just truth, and anybody, you know, and I'm a professional musician, and anybody who's tied to entertainment understands that there's so many homosexuals in entertainment. There's so many homosexuals that are not just entertainers, but now are in management and entertainment. It was almost impossible for them to hope that somehow that everybody was going to be cool with this. That everybody's going to say, that's just him talking. That's who Philip is, and da-da-da-da. Oh, no. We must crush. We must destroy anything. Any of that kind of speech must be completely destroyed. Full court press. I'm telling you. It was not 30 seconds before my first tweet tonight. It was not 30 seconds before there was blowback from supporters of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender community. It wasn't 30 seconds. Why? Because they watch. They watch, and then they attack. It wasn't 30 seconds. It was amazing. I've seen it before. I have been on the business end of that before, so it wasn't like I didn't expect it, and I was not surprised when it happened. But that's how folks, that's how it is. And this is designed to do one thing. This is designed to continue to crush free speech, or any speech that flies against the new religion of homosexuality. As it's turned out, Philip Robertson has been put on immediate suspension, indefinite suspension, from the the show that has to do about him. So the future of the Duck Dynasty is up in the air. I'm not so sure that Philip will be able to apologize for his statements. Statements aren't even out yet. That edition of GQ is January's edition, so it may be out now. But I don't see him apologizing for them. I know that everybody else is under contract for the new season of Duck Dynasty. I am not sure. I am just not sure of how this is all going to play out. If there will be a Duck Dynasty, I can't necessarily see that the rest of the family, I can't see why how the rest of the family will desert their patriarch. I also can't see. I can't see Philip apologizing for his statements, rolling any of it back. He mentions in the article how he came to Christ and how important his faith is to him and his relationship with Jesus is. So I don't see him rolling any of that back. So the drama will continue. What this says to believers is that, do you have the courage to say out loud what you believe? Do you have the courage? Are you willing to lose millions? Are you willing to be attacked? Are you willing to stand up for what you say you believe in? Are you willing to not moderate it? Are you willing to not sugarcoat it? What are you willing to do? This sort of courage bleeds over into a lot of other areas. Listen, this is the take-home edition of the Will Lawson Show here on Spreaker.com. Again, this is not going to be broadcast on our Spreaker show, our Spreaker turned to iHeartRadio. It's only going to be available here on Spreaker. We're going to put the explicit tag on it because we did talk about some things explicitly today. So thank you again for listening, and we hope to talk to you soon. Just like always, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, take care of yourself.